Hello and welcome back to the Beatdown Bandits podcast. I am Colin, and this is season 5, episode 2 of the podcast. So hey, we're getting some out here. So I'm recording this like a week 8 days in advance. So this is going to come out on March 2nd. So but for March, I'm planning on doing some type of uh, brackets or something. With it being March Madness, blah 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 blah. I want to probably do like a tier maker video with like Apex Legends like season 20 and kind of do my own personal tier. I did that maybe 2 seasons ago, something like that. So since things have dramatically changed in season 20, I want to do another tier maker and kind of do my opinions on that. And then I'll probably do some type of bracket. I don't know what. I've done like video games in the past. I don't know. I've done a couple different things, but I'll do some type of bracket or maybe do a pod on a couple of them, depends on how long they are, how big they are. May not take a whole lot of time. So, but anyway, that's basically what's kind of gonna be coming in March. I want to be able to put out a couple other videos or a couple other podcasts in March. So, but that's what it's going to be kind of based around on, or that's the ideas I have. I still have a ginormous list of podcasts I want to get done. But man, like there's things that have been a much bigger priority. Um, Although my videos do tend to do pretty well on YouTube, people are finding it that way. Um, and then a little bit on like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, they seem to be picked up. I got a small little audience over there, but it's a little bit bigger on YouTube. So I thank you very much for watching and listening to that. But anyway, today. Let me just jump into today's topic, and it's going to be insane video game facts. This is something I've had on my list. I wanted to do movies at some point as well. There's a Reddit something with like movie facts or something like that that I really enjoy, and I was going to run through like the top or the most popular of all time. So I was going to run through that and kind of go through some of those things which are very entertaining. But today, I pulled up a site. I looked at like the first three or four just to make sure everything was okay. So I've sneak peeked at those. But this has, I think it's 100. I don't know. I'm going to share my screen here in a second, and we're going to go through that. But I think it's got like 100 interesting facts, yeah, about your favorite video games. So we're going to go through that and talk about those. So I don't know. It says it's a 46-minute read. I might skip through some pretty quick. I don't want this to end up being like an hour-long podcast. So let's get moving. For sure. Some of them I might skip, to be honest. But so number one, a custom-made demo of SimCity 2000 is exhibited in the New York Museum of Modern Art, which makes perfect sense. That's pretty cool. It's a massive game or whatever, so that's an interesting little fact. I might skip some of that stuff just to speed up. I knew this one. Yeah, the dragon Parthenox in the Elder Scrolls Skyrim is voiced by Mario, the same guy who does Mario. What's his name? Charles something, right? Yeah, Charles Martinet. Um, so yeah, that's also interesting. And then this is where I stopped. Gears of War 2 was featured in AMC's The Walking Dead. So apparently Negan can be seen playing it in the final episode. And and like while Negan is supposedly playing multiplayer with a couple other players, keen-eyed viewers figured out that the gameplay footage was from a point in the game's campaign, specifically in Act 2. So those things happen. All right, Left 4 Dead 2 was so popular that an expansion was released 11 years after the original launch date. Uh, which yeah, those were fun. Like, I played them a couple times, and what was like Dead Island or what are those called? But those were always kind of fun. Just just killing zombies games are always just a good way to kill an hour or two. Number 5, Rockstar Games hired real-life gang members to voice background characters in Grand Theft Auto 5. I think I vaguely remember hearing this. In an attempt to add as much authenticity as possible to the game set in a fictional criminal underworld, the producers decided to shy away from goofy LA actors who added little more than 2 dimensions to the character. Quite a lot of the background characters are gangsters belonging to Latino and Black gangs, so Rockstar Games got a guy to go around and hire genuine gangsters to voice the part. That's pretty cool. Many who saw the scripts threw them on the floor as they weren't real enough. They recorded their own version, which is freaking hilarious. Number 6, Half-Life was listed as the best-selling first-person shooter of all time for PC anyway, in the 2008 Gamers Edition of the Guinness Book of World Records. Half-Life 3 confirmed at this point. Is that what maybe we're pushing for here? Yeah, the Half-Life games are awesome. Absolutely. It's been a long time since I have touched Half-Life outside of Gmod. I have played Gmod, but I haven't touched Half-Life in 10 years, 15 years, something like that. Not only did Half-Life completely redefine the PC first-person shooter genre, but it also had an incredibly mind-bending sci-fi story to back it up. Yeah, it was really cool. Okay. Let's see. Number 7, the creators of PUBG tried to sue the makers of Fortnite, which is not really all that surprising. Was PUBG the first battle royale style game? I mean, there was the movie, but was this the first video game? I think it was. So yeah, I mean, they're gonna, let's see, what I thought the same as they attempted to sue Epic Games because Fortnite allegedly copied their battle royale game style. Okay, case was eventually dropped, which leaves us wondering whether they realized that the idea had been around for a while in other media formats like the battle royale movie released in 2000. So yeah, I think I remember this happening, like them wanting to sue, but yeah, obviously that died off pretty quick. Let's see. There are multiple references in Batman Arkham City to ABC's hit series Lost. I didn't know that. I think I played Arkham City a little bit. I was not huge fans of those, to be honest. The Joker in Batman Arkham City is voiced by Mark Hamill of Star. Well, yeah, Mark Hamill did Joker in the series. What? I don't understand. Yeah, Mark Hamill, for those of you who don't know, played the Joker in the video games and in the '90s cartoons. So I don't know why this is like he played it like he's Star Wars fame. Yes, absolutely, he's most known for that. But a lot of people also like him as the Joker. So Hamill was a massive fan of Lost, so he managed to sneak in references to his favorite show in the monologues. Okay, interesting. Thief 2, the studio behind Thief 2, The Metal Age, ran out of money, so they donated their tools to the game fans to expand upon the game. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I remember, I think I played Thief 1 for like 20 minutes, and that was it. I think it was like a free-to-play game for a little bit, and I think I played it, and it wasn't very good. I remember watching some videos on people playing it. It's just seemed pretty repetitive, but all right, moving on. Number 10, the initial designs for the Little Sisters in BioShock were absolutely horrifying. Okay. Oh, yes. Originally referred to the game genre as gatherers, the game studio, sorry, as gatherers, the purpose of Little Sisters was to harvest a rare chemical called Adam from the corpses you see strewn around the place. Yeah, okay. They're creepy. Number 11, the background noises in Silent Hill 2 were randomized to keep players on the edge of their seat. Yeah. Well, all those were super freaky anyway. Number 12, God of War plays out like a movie that's been shot in one single take with no cuts or loading screens. Yeah. In the movie industry, it's pretty much impossible to film anything without taking multiple cuts. What was there was a war movie from a couple years ago, not like 1917 or something like that. I forget what it was. But that was like a one take. I think they technically did cuts in it or whatever, but it was basically like a camera following two guys around the entire movie. It was awesome. Basically, it was their journey. So that was really cool. But yeah, when yeah, that's hard in a video game. So yeah, that's hard in anything. So shout out to people who pull that. Number 13, Counter-Strike was initially a custom mod you could play in Half-Life. Is that true? That's pretty shock. I did not know that. 2000, the pair had gone through 5 beta releases and created a website which drew enough attention from Half-Life's developers to buy them out and hire them to create a full version of Counter-Strike. That's awesome. I had no idea. Okay, that's pretty cool. Number 14, Divinity Original Sin 2 wasn't meant to be released with voice dialogue. Interesting. It's going to keep moving. Number 15, in 2012, the developers of Terraria tried to cancel further updates to the game. Has that game been out that long? I don't. I didn't feel like Terraria didn't come out until like 2016 or 15, something like that. I can't believe it's been out that long. Lead developer, February 2012, that there would be no further updates. He felt that it was time to move on from the game and wished to spend more time with his family. Fans didn't like this news, but they didn't have to wait long for some good news. Okay. Ported to the 360. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about is when it got moved over to like the Xbox and the PlayStation. Okay, maybe that's all I was thinking. All right, number 16, XCOM UFO Defense was nearly canceled twice. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna keep moving on. Number 17, Baldur's Gate was developed by BioWare, the same developer who would later make the Mass Effect series. Okay. Interesting. Number 18, released in 1991, Neverwinter Nights was the first successful multiplayer online RPG. Okay. I've heard of this, but I never played it. Yeah, because it was 95. So I in the mid to late 90s, there was a couple. There was one game, I can't remember, something Asheron's Call or something like that, which was a massive multiplayer online RPG. It was something like that. Uh, I can't remember what the name of that was. I'm gonna have to like look that up now. But I played that in like the mid 90s, 97-ish or whatever, but that was all dial up back then. Like that was it wasn't as fun, it wasn't as smooth. So anyway, number 19, the creators of Rock Band were the same people who made the first two Guitar Hero games. Okay, I do remember that. Didn't they like kind of break away and yeah. Could not make Guitar Hero games after the producer was bought out by Activision. Okay. But yeah, I both were fun. I enjoyed Rock Band probably a little bit more than Guitar Hero, but just because it was the same thing and then some. So yeah, of course. Number 20, in the first 24 hours of its release, more than 1 million people logged into Xbox Live to play Halo 3. Not a surprise. Number 21, democracy activists used Animal Crossing New Horizons to spread messages that criticized China's rule of Hong Kong. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Regardless, yes, I don't most people play video games to get a release and break from the world, and yeah, so anytime people make video games political, it just drives me nuts. Number 22, the author of the Witcher novels tried to sue the developer of The Witcher 3 for more royalty payments. Okay. Um, Never thought the games would make much money. Uh, 2018, after the wildfire success, The Witcher 3 pay him an extra $16 million just for that title alone. We're surprisingly reasonable with the author making a new private agreement in 2019, which seemed to leave both parties happy. Okay. Number 23, FIFA 11 was the first FIFA game to let you play as the goalkeeper. First FIFA game. So, uh, oddly enough, I had totally forgot this game existed. Tony Meola's soccer or Tony Meola something. Um, but he was the U.S. goalkeeper forever ago. And there was a game, I don't know, maybe it was just a one-time thing, but I really liked it as a kid. I wasn't a huge soccer fan or football fan, however you want to say it, but it was a fun game. So I had played it a lot, and I play FIFA every once in a while. I've definitely grown more into a soccer fan the last few years, um, but yeah, that's interesting. I mean, FIFA. What I mean, was this would have been like 2011, I guess. So yeah, that's I mean it's not a big deal, I guess. That's yeah, so release date in 2010, so it'd be FIFA for 2011. Okay, whatever. Number 24, the first gaming event in the US to be held. But I was gonna say with the Tony Meola soccer, like I'm pretty sure you could play as Tony Meola, so but it wasn't a FIFA game. So that's all I'm saying is there were games way before that because that would have been in the 90s, early 2000s. I don't know when that came out, or even what system it was on. Um, but you could play as a goalie then, so it was way before the FIFA games. All right, anyway, number 24. The first gaming event in the US to be held at a national level was the Red Annihilation multiplayer Quake event in 1997, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like the first like real like esport or whatever. History of esports began back in 1997. Wasn't there technically like kind of some esport stuff happening in like arcades way back in the day? Like I feel like that kind of was happening way before this. Number 25. There are five different forms that missing number can take in the original Pokemon. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. I was like, what are we talking about? But it's Pokemon. Okay, got it. Interesting. Moving on. Number 26. The Shadow of the Colossus don't actually have names. What nickname? But okay, it's Minotaur A. Well, fans gave it a much more exciting nickname of Valis. Okay, see, I can kind of remember Valis. All right, there are only 16 characters in the entire game that you can fight, and they're all at the boss level. Colossi. Okay, number 27. The first playable demo of StarCraft was essentially a reskinned version of Warcraft, but in space. I do remember StarCraft. I did play that briefly, but that was kind of fun. Number 28. Sorry, I keep hitting my hat on the mic. Number 28. The two characters who fight during the intro to Street Fighter 2 actually have names. I do remember that. I do remember this. Uh, what are they? It turns out they are Scott, who likes going to the lake but dislikes caterpillars, and Max, who likes sparkly things and gambling. Okay. Interesting. Number 29, Command and Conquer Red Alert was one of the first video games to be banned in China. I do remember that. I remember that happening, probably because it's Red Alert, which makes sense. Number 30, Assassin's Creed was initially meant to be a spin-off of Prince of Persia. I do remember that. I remember that as being a thing, but obviously Assassin's Creed became massive. The studio originally pitched the game that came up with Prince of Persia Assassins. Okay. Number 31, Snoop Dogg created an exclusive track for Need for Speed Underground 2. That's pretty cool. Number 32, the same guy behind Dota created League of Legends. I do know that. Was that part of Riot Games? Later snapped up by Riot Games. Okay. Wanted him to be the brains behind the new Operation League of Legends. Got it. Number 33, if you click the units enough times in Warcraft 3, they will get annoyed at you and start talking back. Yep. That's a pretty common thing in a lot of games now. Number 34, Donkey Kong 64's DK rap started as a joke between the game designers. I don't remember this. I mean, I do remember in like high school as like a sophomore or something playing a lot of Nintendo 64. I never had one, but my friend Daniel had one, and we played a lot of Wayne Gretzky hockey and a lot of Mario Kart. Uh, we constantly always played as the New York Rangers because it had Gretzky and Messier, and man, that was a lot of fun. Number 35, dog meat, yeah. Canine Companion in Fallout 3. It was modeled off their dog in Mad Max 2. Interesting. Did not know that. Number 36, Nintendo's American branch was forced to offer gloves to everyone who bought a copy of Mario Party. What? Why? One game in mind when it comes to the destruction of Nintendo 64 controllers and messed up palms, and that's Mario Party. While no severe injuries ever occurred, more than 90 official complaints were lodged. Wounds to the hand because everybody got pissed off. Fingerless gloves to each household. Oh my god. That's an actual thing. I mean, nothing will piss you off more than Mario Party or Mario Kart. So I get it. Although I definitely get more pissed off in Mario Kart than Mario Party. So Mario Party can definitely be frustrating. But I would think Mario Kart would have broken a lot more controllers. Stupid Peach, and those blue turtle shells right at the finish line. Number 37, Mass Effect was initially called Science Fiction X. Interesting. Number 38, Leonard Nimoy of Star Trek fame voiced much of Sid Meier's Civilization 4. I did know that. Number 39, at its release, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was the largest crossover game in history. Yeah, good for them. Okay. Number 40, Japan has rumored to have run out of 100 yen coins when Space Invaders was first released in 1978. That's awesome. Raked in $1 billion from players at arcades around the world. 600 million in Japan alone. That's awesome. All right, number 41, the Pinkerton Detective Agency tried to sue Rockstar Games after the release of Red Dead Redemption 2. That's fine. They actually were a real detective agency back in the US Wild West days. We cannot say whether they were as villainous as they were made out in Red Dead, but the detective agency parent company seems not to think so. They sued Rockstar Games over the insidious way that they were portrayed, but eventually dropped the lawsuit and settled the issue privately. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you're not going to sue Rockstar. Like you're just not going to win it. They have way more money than you. They're going to win. So there's been like Lindsay Lohan tried to sue them in GTA 5. There's the Joker idiot from the GTA 6 trailer that tried to sue, and guess what? You're getting more fame out of this than anything else. So yeah, I'm sorry, you're just not going to win a lawsuit against them, bud. Number 42, the handbook for Super Mario Kart actually recommended players cheat and look at each other's screens to get an advantage. Oh, that's sick. Number 43, there are more than 17 million different usable weapons in Borderlands 2. What? How much? 17 million. 87 bazillion guns. Okay. Interesting. Number 44, The Sims was originally meant to be an architecture simulator. Well, yeah, I mean, it was originally like Sim City, right? And then it went into the people, The Sims. Sims was first placed in the game so that players could see how the houses were created would actually function. Oh, okay. So it was more or less like a house building thing rather than the actual people. So then, like the people, okay, after that, the developers realized that the Sims themselves were far more interesting than the simple architecture simulator. I agree. I mean, you mixed in with both. The only thing I don't like about the Sims games um is that like you constantly like there's always something wrong with them. Like I can go a long time without eating, drinking, or going to the bathroom. And it seems like this anytime I play The Sims, like they are constantly having to go to the bathroom, they have to shower, they have to eat. Like it's just that's the thing I don't like is like I want to be able to set and work on my skills and not have to like sit down for 2.5 seconds to play guitar and then have to go take a dump. Like that's kind of annoying in the game. Number 45, when Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was released in the US, the English translation of the manual oversimplified the game's story. The English translate, okay. What does that mean? The events of Sonic 2 happened on the same island as the previous game when he really just flew his plane to a new island and okay. Okay. Whatever, not a big deal. Number 46, Pac-Man was nearly sold in the US as Puck-Man. Okay. Whatever. Number 47, the first Battlefield game was created by 14 people. Yeah, 1942. I think everybody played this for sure. Playing that in college. Number 48, Carrie Fisher, as in the one and only Princess Leia, voiced parts of Dishonored. I don't think I knew that. So I knew like Carrie Fisher, I think didn't she do like a lot of script writing? Or like she was like a rewriter. I thought that was like what Carrie Fisher kind of did in like the acting and movie world, like post Star Wars, was she just focused on a lot of like rewriting scripts or a script doctor or whatever is what she was kind of called. So I think she has a lot of credits to her name for like scripts. Number 49, there was a movie adaptation of Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, but it's so awful that you really should just forget it existed. Yeah, like I was gonna say, I was like, yeah, wasn't it like Jake Gyllenhaal? Yeah. So interesting. Okay. Yeah, I guess you can see Jake here. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I ever watched it. Hideo Kojima used Lego bricks to help his team build Metal Gear Solid. This is number 50. Okay. Number 51, Age of Empires 2 was also released for PlayStation 2. Why is that a big deal? Console ports of real-time strategy games often leave much to be desired as the controls are rarely mapped out well for joysticks. I would agree with that. Unfortunately, this was the case for Age of Empires 2, The Age of Kings, with the game only being released in European and Japanese markets. Very unplayable. Moving the cursor around the screen was utterly counterintuitive, and everything was zoomed in too much. Yeah, that's annoying. Number 52, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was the first in the series to have a playable Marvel character. Who was it? Oh, Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. Number 53, Deus Ex may have predicted the destruction of the Twin Towers. Oh, okay. Released in the year 2000 during a time when video game graphics were still quite limited. Twin Towers were too difficult to place into views of the New York skyline, so the game developers decided to remove them and claim that a terrorist attack had destroyed them. Wow. Wow. Less than 1 year after the game's release, the Twin Towers were, of course, destroyed. Wow, that's interesting. Number 54, the 250th two-player game played in the Mortal Kombat 2 arcade launched video version launched a much older arcade classic instead. What? Mortal Kombat 2 is a much darker game than its predecessor, but the developers also knew to throw in plenty of fun Easter eggs. One such feature was unlocked upon playing 250 two-player games, with players able to play a game of Pong instead. Pong was one of the first arcade games ever created, where players hit it. Yeah, interesting. Okay, that's bizarre. Number 55, Metroid Samus was originally meant to be a man. Okay, I think I knew that. 56, Doom's working title was Attack of the Attackers. I think they did much better with Doom. Dota 2's number 57. Lead developer is only known by the pseudonym Ice Frog. Okay. Number 58, Super Mario World is Shigeru Miyamoto's favorite Mario game. I agree, it's my favorite Super Nintendo. Oh my god, it's great. Number 59, many of the characters in Undertale are named after fonts. I never played Undertale, but that's funny. Number 60, Among Us was originally called Space Mafia. Wasn't Among Us out for like years before it exploded? Like wasn't it like out there for like 2 years and then all of a sudden like somebody found it and made it big? Number 61, Bloodborne is so hard that Sony's head of worldwide game development constantly emailed the developers for tips. That's kind of funny. Number 62, if you play Rise of the Tomb Raider on February 14th, a special message pops up. No, it's got absolutely nothing to do with Valentine's Day. Instead, the Tomb Raider universe February 14th is her birthday. Okay, Lara Croft's birthday. Interesting. Number 63, despite ranking as one of the greatest NES games of all time, Mega Man 3 was a complete rush job. I did like some of the original Mega Mans, but I don't know. Most of them were just very repetitive. Number 64, while Heroes of Might and Magic 3 got an HD remake, its expansions didn't because the source code was lost. That is unfortunate. Number 65, a remaster of GoldenEye 007 was meant to be released in 2008. Um, I mean, it just came out though, again, so all's good there. This is clearly outdated because it just came out last year. So, number 66, World of Warcraft racked up 5.5 million lines of code within its first 5 years. Jeez, Pete. 67, scientists found that playing Portal 2 can improve your problem-solving skills. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Number 68, the Dark Souls developers completely trolled the game. So yeah, like Dark Souls is a troll anyway. Like, I don't know why people play Dark Souls. Number 69, Conqueror's Bad Fur Day was originally meant to be another boring PG-related 3D platformer. Okay. Number 70, the idea of the secret cow level in Diablo 2 came from a hoax in the first Diablo game. I don't remember that. I did play a lot of the original Diablo and then a little bit of Diablo 2. I think Diablo 4 I think is getting ready to be free on Xbox Game Pass, so I might play it a little bit, but meh. Number 71, Little Big Planet was originally called Craft World, and its main character was Mr. Yellowhead. Pretty sure like the soundtrack to Little Big Planet was done by a YouTuber. What's that guy's name? Smooth McGroove. Not Smooth. Smooth McGroove or Smooth McGroove, one of the two. He does like acapella songs of everything. Like a lot of video games, and he will sing the theme songs or whatever, the songs behind the games, and but he does it all acapella. So he'll do 4 to 20 parts and put it all in one video. It's really cool, and I'm pretty sure he did the music for that. Number 72, the first Worms game was created as an entry into a game development competition. Interesting. Number 73, there's a secret Star Wars reference hidden in Final Fantasy VI. What is that? Best of the series were certain. I'm more of a 7. In case Locke an Imperial soldier disguised when he rescued. Aren't you short for an Imperial soldier? That's funny. Okay, I was like, what's the reference? Number 74, the developers of Fallout New Vegas missed out on a huge bonus from Bethesda because the game's ratings were high enough. Oh, whoops. Number 75, Monster Hunter World is Capcom's single best-selling game. Really? Yeah, Mega Man, Resident Evil, Street Fighters. That's interesting. Okay. Number 76, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory was banned in South Korea. Why? North and South Korea have been tense. Yep. And there were no looking better in 21 Splinter Cell. Okay. As the focus of the game is a fictional war between North and South Korea banned it in fear of escalating to. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Number 77. A special edition of Uncharted 2 Among Thieves was never sold in stores. Okay. Weren't able to buy it. Instead, they had to earn it across a variety of competitions held on the PlayStation blog within the demo itself, as well as there was a few other unpublished places. Number 78, Plants vs. Zombies was meant to be called Lawn of the Dead. That's pretty funny. Number 79, The Last of Us began development as a reboot of Naughty Dog's Jack and Dexter. Okay. Number 80, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has been the highest ranking game since its release. Yep. Since 98. Yep. Not a surprise. Multiple gamers, number 81, sorry. Multiple gamers have been sued for cheating in Fortnite Battle Royale. Wow. No one likes a cheater. Yep. Epic Games decided to crack down on users who both cheated and publicized cheating, issued a lawsuit against a 14-year-old YouTuber who actively did both in 2017. The case was eventually settled out of court and has been the case for numerous other players being caught red-handed by Epic Games. Good for them. Number 82, Cyberpunk 2077 developers were made to work brutally long shifts. I heard this. At least 6 days a week in the final moments before its release. And the release was bad, but it sounds like they fixed it in the long run. Number 83, the Tetris theme song is actually a popular 1900s folk song. Interesting. Yeah, type A and type B, right? 84. More than 1 million people downloaded Angry Birds within its first 24 hours on the Android market. That's pretty cool. That was kind of fun. Number 85, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare was the first Call of Duty to feature kill streaks. Okay. Number 86, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is full of David Bowie references. Okay. Major Tom. Okay, yeah. 87, Disco Elysium, the final cut is banned in Australia. It's kind of interesting. Australian Classification Board had to be involved. Okay. Number 88, Dragon Age Origins has more than 900,000 words of dialogue. Oh my gosh, that's so much. Now your average novel only has around 100,000 words, which means that playing Dragon Age Origins is the equivalent of reading 9 books. Okay, that's impressive. Number 89, there's a piece of cheese hidden in every single level of Perfect Dark. Okay. Number 90, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is the best-selling PlayStation 2 game of all time. That's not a surprise. Number 91, the first edition of Minecraft was made in just 6 days. That's pretty impressive. Number 92, the creators of Journey decided to remove voice communication to make players more cooperative. Interesting. Number 93, the first American Pokemon Go player to catch all 142 in the US was given round the world plane tickets. Wow, I didn't know that. I did play it a little bit when it first came out. It was kind of fun. And then stopped playing for like a year, and then I played it a little bit more. I don't know, maybe 2020. Yeah, I mean COVID time or whatever, but 2020, 2021, somewhere thereabouts, I played it again for a little bit, but then yeah, I stopped. He proceeded to catch 135 Pokemon in the first week and a half. I don't even know how you did that. First US Pokemon Master having caught all Pokemon available in the US. Insane. Number 94, every accessible building in Fable 2 can be bought. Yeah. And Fable, man, like I guess there's another Fable coming, which I'm excited for. But man, like the Fable series, like I had been reading about Fable. I forget what it was called originally. It was supposed to be called something else, but I had been reading about that years before it came out, and I was super excited about it. It sounded awesome. I think Fable 2 and Fable 3 are what Fable 1 was supposed to be. A little bit more control and stuff, but a little bit more open world. All of them were fun. I think it was Fable. Is it Fable 3? I forget which Fable it was. It was basically just impossible really to actually like have enough money to like actually beat it, I think. But yeah, either way, they're still really fun games. 95. Some of the characters in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic were based on characters the developers played in tabletop RPG games. Okay. Number 96. There's an Overwatch League where players are paid a minimum salary of $50,000. That's pretty nice. Number 97. Where'd it go? The original Soul Calibur was the only game in the entire series that wasn't released on PlayStation. Okay, number 98, the woman who voiced Resident Evil 4's Ashley Graham also did voice work for SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, they do stuff for everything. I mean, voice actors will do everything, so I don't know why that's a huge deal. Number 99, the number 16 is Everywhere in No Man's Sky. Okay. That speaking of letdowns, right? And number 100, the world record score in Doodle Jump is over 20 million. I've played this in the arcade, but oh my god, that's dumb. Okay, well that was 100 interesting video game facts or insane game facts or whatever facts, but some of those were interesting, some a little less so, but hopefully you learned something. And as I said, in March, I'm going to have a couple different kind of March Madness style brackets, and then I want to do a tier maker for Apex Legends Season 20. So that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching and or listening, and we'll talk to y'all later.